Hi, today is tutorial time again, and today I'm going to show you how to solder SMD components with solder paste and a hot plate. And this is the best way to work with SMD components, because if you try to do it with your regular iron, that is not gonna work. So this is the best way, the best possible way, and you can do very tiny boards, PCBs, with this technique. Let me show you the things that we will need to do this, to do a PCB with SMD components. We will need solder paste. This is the best format in which you can have solder paste. And we will need some tweezers and the PCB that we want to populate, so sure. And I didn't cut all the board because it's best to leave a little bit of space for manipulating the board, to rotate it over the bends and all that stuff. And you will need a magnifier like this one with some light, and I think that is all that you need. And we are going to follow some steps. The first thing that we have to do is put the solder paste over the paths on the PCB, and then place all the components, and then use a hot plate like this one to solder all the components at once. And it's very simple, and you can get very good results with this technique. And this is, I think, the best way of using SMD components, and I think it's the cheapest way you can do very small boards with SMD components. And I just want to share this knowledge with you. So here we go. Okay, so here's my PCB, and I'm going to start putting the solder paste. Okay, now that we have all the pads with the solder paste, I have to place the components. Don't worry if the solder paste is not placed 100% correctly, because when you heat it, it will flow and take its place, and and it will be very nice to see, and it will simplify your work a little bit. So now I'm going to place the components. Finito. Ended. It's done. Okay, now with the hot plate I'm going to preheat it to 150 degrees. So let's turn it on. It is a little bit hot, but it's okay. So let's put the board. now at maximum. Now it's flowing. Okay, so turn it off now and take it out there quickly. Now fixing some short circuits that because this soldering process is not 100% perfect. Okay. Fix it. Okay, so I cut the board, as you can see. And in case you are wondering what is this for, you will find out in the next video blog. And this is a single-sided board, but I'm using the other side of the board as a ground plane and as a solder point for the connector, because if you leave this connector with just the top layer soldering, it doesn't have mechanical strength, so I did it this way, as you can see, because it really doesn't deserve to expose this side of the board and etching this side just for 2 solder points. It's a waste of time, so I did it this way. And I had a jumper here, but I had a problem with that, and I just fixed it with a wire, and that's it. So I found many ways in which you can improve this process, this hot plate soldering process, and the PCB manufacturing process as well. So I'm going to leave you with a video blog in which you can see ways to improve all these things, and I hope you have fun with all this, and I hope to see you in the next video blog. So thank you very much.